Sustainable forestry is an approach to managing forest resources in a way that meets the needs of the present generation without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. It involves balancing environmental, social, and economic considerations to ensure the long-term health, productivity, and resilience of forest ecosystems while supporting the well-being of communities that depend on them. Sustainable forestry practices aim to conserve biodiversity, protect ecosystem services, promote forest health, and maintain the integrity of forest ecosystems. Here's how sustainable forestry contributes to biodiversity conservation. Habitat protection. Sustainable forestry practices help protect and preserve habitat for a wide range of plant and animal species that depend on forests for their survival. By maintaining forest cover, minimizing habitat fragmentation, and preserving key habitat features such as old-growth forests, riparian zones, and wildlife corridors, sustainable forestry helps support diverse and healthy ecosystems. Species diversity. Sustainable forestry promotes species diversity by maintaining a variety of tree species, age classes, and ecological niches within forest ecosystems. By incorporating ecosystem-based management approaches, such as selective logging, uneven-aged forest management, and maintaining diverse forest structures and composition, sustainable forestry creates conditions that support a rich array of plant and animal species. Forest restoration and regeneration. Sustainable forestry practices include efforts to restore and regenerate degraded or deforested areas, enhancing habitat quality and biodiversity. Reforestation, afforestation, and natural regeneration techniques help recover forest ecosystems, improve soil fertility, enhance watershed functions, and provide habitat for native species. Biodiversity monitoring and assessment. Sustainable forestry involves monitoring and assessing biodiversity within forest ecosystems to track changes over time, identify conservation priorities, and inform management decisions. Biodiversity assessments, ecological surveys, and monitoring programs help identify rare, threatened, or endangered species, assess habitat quality, and evaluate the effectiveness of conservation measures. Forest certification and standards. Forest certification programs, such as the Forest Stewardship Council, FSC, and the Program for the Endorsement of Forest Certification, PEFC, establish standards and criteria for sustainable forestry practices. Certified forests must adhere to rigorous sustainability principles, including biodiversity conservation, habitat protection, and ecosystem management, to ensure responsible forest management and consumer confidence in forest products. Community engagement and livelihoods. Sustainable forestry involves engaging local communities, indigenous peoples, and stakeholders in forest management and conservation efforts. By promoting community-based forestry initiatives, participatory decision-making processes, and equitable benefit-sharing arrangements, sustainable forestry supports local livelihoods, traditional knowledge, and cultural values while conserving biodiversity and ecosystem services. Climate change mitigation and adaptation. Sustainable forestry plays a critical role in climate change mitigation and adaptation by sequestering carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, reducing greenhouse gas emissions, and enhancing the resilience of forest ecosystems to climate impacts. By maintaining healthy, intact forests and implementing sustainable land management practices, sustainable forestry helps mitigate climate change and enhance ecosystem resilience in the face of changing environmental conditions. Overall, sustainable forestry is essential for biodiversity conservation, as it promotes the responsible stewardship of forest resources, protects critical habitat, maintains species diversity, and supports the ecological integrity of forest ecosystems. By integrating conservation principles, ecosystem-based management approaches, and community engagement strategies, sustainable forestry contributes to the preservation of biodiversity and the long-term sustainability of forest ecosystems for future generations.